Welcome to another episode of What is Hashimoto's with Dr. Martin Rutherford. To find out more on any of our topics, or for information on scheduling a consultation with Dr. Rutherford, please visit us at whatishashimotos.com. And now, here's Dr. Rutherford.
Okay, so here's a good one today. Hashimoto's and hair loss. My two least favorite topics are Hashimoto's and obesity, and Hashimoto's and hair loss, because you can get rid of every other symptom that the patient has when they come in. I don't care what it is, if it's their bowel symptom, if it's a skin symptom, if it's chronic fatigue, whatever it is. And if the hair doesn't stop falling out, and if the person doesn't lose weight, they're never happy. So here's why you're getting hair loss, and here's why it's tough. Okay, so basically Hashimoto's, as we're going to do this series of Hashimoto's, and you're going to hear me say a lot of just Hashimoto's hypothyroiditis. And the hypothyroid aspect of it is what really kills us. And the hyperactive aspect of thyroid, it gives us symptoms, it'll give us heart palpitations, and it'll give us anxiety, and it'll give us insomnia, it'll give us stuff like that. But physiologically, the hypo stuff is what it causes the hair to fall out, it causes you to put on weight, it causes you to have edema. We'll talk about that at some point in time. But the hair loss is an interesting one, because it's not like hypothyroid causes your hair follicles to stop making hair. It's kind of an interim relationship. So you might read on Wikipedia or something else about other causes of hair loss. And other causes of hair loss, one of the biggest ones is liver. Another one is poor estrogen. Another one is lack of essential fatty acids. Let's see. Another one is anemia. All right, these are all pretty well considered causes of hair loss, but they can all be caused by Hashimoto's. Basically, what happens is Hashimoto's slows everything down. So, for example, it slows your liver down, and your liver is the area that clears out a lot of things. Everybody knows their liver is a detoxification center. But frankly, it makes proteins, it makes fats, it makes sugars, it stores sugars, it does a zillion things. But it clears out, it also clears out fats and hormones. Okay, so if it's creating fats and it's getting them out into the system would be a better way of putting it. And so if your system slows down, and it's not getting, without getting into the whole chemistry of it, and it's not ultimately getting those broken down essential fatty acids out into your system, that lack of essential fatty acids is going to cause you to have dry skin and dry hair, and the dry hair is going to start falling out. Also related to the liver, most of the time when it's liver, that is causing the hair to fall out and come out in clumps, as you put it. A lot of times it's estrogen imbalances that are taking place in the liver. Estrogen, female hormone, you make it, and then it's supposed to do its thing, and as far as helping you to have children and want to have children, and giving you your female characteristics and does a lot of good things, and then that estrogen that's not used needs to clear through the liver, gallbladder, intestines, and it needs to get into the toilet. A lot of times it gets stuck in the liver, and this goes triply for those of you who use estrogen hormone therapy. Okay, a lot of times it overloads the liver, and then the liver can't process it right, and then you go into more or less so it gets stuck in the liver, and you start building up too much estrogen. And too much estrogen is as bad as too little estrogen for a lot of different reasons, but you get the same symptoms with too much estrogen and too little estrogen. Basically, when you're getting too much estrogen, it shuts down the cells that are supposed to be processing it, because it's overwhelming the cell shuts down. So it's just like you're not getting enough estrogen. Either way, your hair starts falling out. So another one is anemia. Those of you who have anemias are historic for causing poor hair health. And you could have a separate anemia that can cause your hair to start falling out, but in Hashimoto's, it slows everything down. So it's not entirely unusual for someone to come in here and if we run the labs, find out that they have an early anemia. Sometimes they have full-blown anemia, but they can have an early anemia. I'm emphasizing that more because essentially the hypo aspect of the Hashimoto's, the hypothyroid aspect, slows all this stuff down. It slows down the ability of the body to make red blood cells. And so now it slows down the ability of the body to make red blood cells. You're not getting oxygen to the areas that they need to get to. And your brain, your hair is an extremity, as are your hands. So you maybe get cold hands and feet. Maybe your hair starts falling out. So the falling out of hair is really more of an overall physiological response. If somebody has, we use assessment forms here, so we use these very thorough assessment forms. And if somebody is filling these assessment forms out every time I see them, and we see that their liver is getting better, and we see that their blood sugar is getting better, and we see that their stomach is getting better, all these things are getting better, but their hair is still falling out, we'll look at the parts of the assessment form that would be relevant to, okay, what other things here that are being affected by the thyroid may not be functioning normally yet, and then we will direct our attention to that particular aspect. Because in the beginning, if somebody comes in here and they have signs that all of those things are wrong, and they have lab tests that say all of those things are wrong, then it's just hard to say. I've had people that we put on a liver detox, basically liver gut detox protocol, just to get all of the estrogen out of them, just because they were on hormone replacement therapy, and had them in 2 weeks have their period come back, have them start losing weight, and have their hair come back. Okay, so that could have been any of those things, because putting them on that protocol could have affected all the liver issues. It could have, believe it or not, it could have affected blood sugar. It could have affected their ability to make red blood cells. It could have affected all of that stuff. So it's a tough question. I know a lot of people come in and they're taking biotin. Biotin's way down line, and some people take it and it'll work. But for the most part, the Hashimoto's is just everything slows down all the way down line. All of the chemistry that keeps the follicles of your hair healthy are affected. And so depending on which aspect of it is being affected for that particular person's thyroid picture is what's causing your hair to fall out. For the most part, it's very, very unusual for us to have someone go through a protocol and not have their hair stop falling out. It's happened. That's how I know they're not happy. But for the most part, it's pretty basic stuff relative to the function of the hypothyroid aspect of the Hashimoto's, and to the protocols that you kind of walk your way through to attack the overall immune response that is causing the Hashimoto's problem in and of itself. So it's a huge subject, but I just wanted to touch on kind of like the high points to give you some idea of where to look. If you're watching this and you're trying to figure out, okay, where do I look? And I says, it's my biotin's not working. Maybe I'll do a liver detox, or and that's a good place to start, doing a liver detox. If your hair's falling out, it's frankly kind of a good place to start. So that's like the cliff notes of hair loss. And I'm not sure if we have another one online that's more extensive than that. We got so much online now. I don't remember if we've done one on that in the past or not. So you can look up powerhealthtalk.com and see hair loss and Hashimoto's, and it may or may not come up. All right, so that's it for today. Hair loss and Hashimoto's.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of What is Hashimoto's? To find out more on any of our topics, or for information on scheduling a consultation with Dr. Rutherford, please visit us at whatishashimoto's.com.